guys, it's Matt Zudweg. A lot of you have been expressing interest in seeing more details about my boat, so I'm going to take a little time here and show you what my boat is all about. I'm going to flip the camera around here and show you a few features that are my favorites, and we'll go from there. All right, so here we are from my point of view as I'm guiding throughout the day. I'm sitting on my Yeti cooler, which I'll show you in a second, but as you can see, my motor is completely filthy, covered with salt from the roads here in Michigan. Pretty soon the Great Lakes will be salt as well, just because of all the salt they put on the roads. So typically, when I'm motoring, I will have that seat right there over on that side, and I'll have a person sit there. If I have just one client, they will sit there, and then if I have two clients, I'll have the other person sit right here on the back of my Yeti cooler, which has a really nice cushion, and that seems to balance things out really well and allows me to go really shallow at full speed. I can have two people sit in the back, but then the back ride's just a little bit lower than I'd like. So under really low water conditions, I like to balance it out a little better. I've got my 9-gallon tank under there. And this is recently new here. It's a Rhino Mat, but just a rubber mat that's super amazing to stand on. And especially if it's icy, really nice to stand on. So I've got my tackle trays on both sides here, and Stealthcraft started making these little notches on the back deck, as you can see right there, for the oars to slide in. And right now they're bungeed down, but they're really slick. And I've got my rod holders under both tackle trays, and I also have rod storage on top. You can see I've got a couple rods just bungeed in right there. I've got some hooks set up for just some quick items to grab. And then over here, I have the same thing, place for rods there. And what I did here, this is just my doings. This is just a piece of substrate. It's a PVC with an aluminum skin on both sides. And the reason I put that there was to protect my rods, because I've had several people step down from here to walk through and step right on the rods and break them. So I figure if I can save a couple rods from getting broken, this is the way to do it. So all I do is just unlatch that, and you can see my rods are right there protected. Really easy to do. And so that's about it from this angle. I'm going to turn around and show you the other angles here. So looking from the back deck here, you can see my center console, which this is my first boat with a center console. I've always had tillers. I think this is my 7th Stealthcraft, and I've been super happy with every single one of them. They just keep getting better and better. The quality keeps getting better and better, and just the ergonomics of everything are amazing. So I've got my Yeti cooler there with a cushion, which I sit on, which is really nice and comfortable. And right here we have my boat box, which this is new recently. I built that out of 1/2-inch Kusa board, which is the same thing Stealthcraft uses for their center consoles and things like that. It's a super light material, super strong. And once I built it, I brought it up to Stealthcraft, and they fiberglassed the whole thing for me, gel coated it, and made it so it matches the boat. So this is nice and big and pretty lightweight. And so you can see if I open it up, I've got all kinds of stuff in there. It's really quick and easy to access. And I just have some little rubber feet on the bottom of it. It's removable, but with those rubber feet, it does not move unless I want it to move. So I really love that. My Yeti is the 65 quart, which is plenty big for everything I need. And I just have a little rug here, and I have some storage under here as well. I've got just a plain old waterproof box under there with storage, and then under the front deck I have some storage in there as well. I keep my silverware, a little Tupperware pitcher, dustpan, you know, a few things like that. And I hear a boat coming, so rather than listen to all the noise. I'm going to stop this and then resume as soon as they get past me. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. It was noisy for a second there. But anyways, continuing on with the tour. One thing I want to say too is I do a lot of, most of my steelhead fishing is swung fly stuff. So I have 13 to 14 foot spey rods, and this is the 18-foot power drifter. And it's got the 40-60 really dirty mercury jet on the back. But even my 14-foot spey rods fit in my rod holders. They go all the way up to the bow, but they do fit perfectly. So onto the center console here, a couple things I absolutely love. One of them is something I did myself, is I just built this little backrest here, and when I'm sitting on the cooler, I can sit back against that, and it is unbelievably comfortable, surprisingly comfortable. The other thing I absolutely love that I added as well is the old suicide knob. This thing makes it so quick just to turn around, whip around, so much faster than using two hands. I would not have a center console without that thing. I love it. And then I mounted just a quick little waterproof box right to the top of the console here. It doesn't get in the way, but it's a perfect place to put my keys and my phone, so I always know where they are. We have the standard 2020 issue hand sanitizer. And then over on this side, I have my fire extinguisher mounted to the outside, and I have one of these cool Yeti bags just permanently mounted on the side. Also a great place to put certain things that I just need to know where they are really quickly. And then as we go up front here, we have the casting brace. The only reason I have a casting brace at all on here is just because this is a higher platform, as you can see, so it's a little bit less stable than the back of the boat. The back has no casting brace, not needed. It's just so stable back there. So you can see I got my River Larry winch. I have my grill just sitting up front. I used to sit my grill inside this compartment. There's a big door right there under that rubber mat, and it opens up to the whole bow, but it gets wet in there, and I found that my grill gets moldy. So I just keep it right up there, and it's not in the way whatsoever. So let me step up here and I'll show you this. One of my favorite features is my windshield. It's just folded down right now, but it just flips up and it just straps into place. It's super quick and easy. And this windshield is one of the main reasons I ended up going with a center console this time. And I found lots of reasons I love a center console that I didn't expect, but that windshield was definitely one of the main reasons I got it for those cold winter days. I probably average motoring 12 miles a day or so, and man, when it's cold out, it can be brutal. So the older I get, the more I like the creature comforts. So here's just some of my switches. I've got some spotlights on the front right on the winch mount, as you can see, and I ended up changing those out to yellow lenses because really the only time I use them is on those early morning motoring up river, and it's usually foggy, and the yellow has made a big difference. So I've got my spotlights, I've got my nav lights, my winch, which this is really convenient. I use this a lot. And I've got my bilge, my anchor lights, accessories. This is just an on-off switch for everything. I got my 12 volt, which is good for charging my phone. I've got some cool cabin lights, which I can't even show you those right now because it's light out, but they go under the rod holders or under those tackle trays. There's cool cabin lights, and there's also some under the console, and they're blue and they're really cool in the early morning. And let's see what else here. I think that's about it from this point of view. And so, like I said, this is the 18 by 54 power drifter. I can go super shallow. I've been driving a jet boat for 15 years, and I'm still blown away at how shallow I can go full speed. Probably 2 inches of water, no problem, even with a couple clients in the boat. So I think that concludes the inside tour. and maybe do a little video as well of the outside so you can see that, and maybe a little motoring stuff. But this cord right here is just for my onboard charger. So when I get home every night, I just plug that in, and then my battery tops off for the next day. And then I got my little nav light plug back there, which honestly I just never use, but it's there if I need it. So that concludes the inside tour. So here's just kind of a quick walk around of the outside of my boat. I always just use chain for my anchor. It's cheap and I find it stops me a lot quicker than a pyramid, but that's just me. Everybody has their opinions. Here's my yellow spotlights or fog lights, which I love. So here is just kind of a full view of the outside here. If I can back up far enough. So there's what she looks like from the outside. And I have the Edge composite oars I think they're made by G. Loomis, but I love them. They're ultra light. And as you can see, I've got just black with some gray webbing in it is all I have for the paint job. Nice and simple. I'm gonna walk out here. I only have muck boots on today, so I can't go very deep. But I'm gonna walk over here and kind of show you the side of the boat. I have the patriotic Stealthcraft sticker on there of my own design. Yeah, the Edge oars you can see there. And that's it from the outside. Maybe I'll show you the intake and stuff when I get it on the trailer. This thing is super easy to get on and off the trailer. I typically just drive it on and off. Really simple with the rollers that I have on the trailer. But there you can see the outside. It actually motors even better when I have somebody sitting back there. It motors totally fine with just me in the boat, which is really rare that it's just me, but it motors totally fine. But when I have a little bit of weight in the back, the client back there, it motors even better and I can actually go a little faster. So that's about it for this part. Quick tour of my boat on the trailer. A couple noteworthy things. I have the extra large anchor box, which is placed behind my winch. So when I motor it on the trailer, I can drop my anchor into the box and then crank it up. That is super easy. I don't ever have to pick that heavy thing up. And a couple other cool things. These straps are the most amazing things. You just click them up there and crank it down. Easy as that. And then as you can see, my intake doesn't hang but maybe an inch below the back of my hull. And usually when I'm motoring, my motor is tilted up a little bit because it lifts the front of the boat up while I'm motoring and causes it to go a little faster and motor a little better. And I can run a little shallower that way too. So it sucks it in from the bottom and blows it out the back. So that's about it. Thanks for taking the tour.